Hey everybody, it's GauntletX, and welcome back to another premiere draft of MTG Foundations. We've got a pretty sweet pack one pick one rare here, so let's just go ahead and grab that Curator of Destinies. Big flyer that can't be countered and gives you quite a bit of card advantage off of the enter the battlefield trigger. So a pretty great simple pack one pick one. The one downside here being the next best card in the pack is also a great blue spell. So players on our left are likely to be in the same color. We might not get a lot of blue in pack 2, but that's okay if we can find it in pack 1 and pack 3. For pick number 2, Tiny Bones is pretty fun, pretty slow as well, but there are other ways to get your opponent to discard cards in this format. There's the Burglar Rat, 2 mana, 1/1 each opponent discards a card. There's the Pilfer, 2 mana, choose your opponent's best card in hand, make them discard that. So those are ways to get Tiny Bones going a little cheaper than the 4 mana activated ability, but if you make it to the 4 mana activated ability, that's also just really good card advantage or card disadvantage, making your opponent discard cards. I like the Tiny Bones here. I don't think there's anything else super duper great. The Truffle Snout's pretty good for the cost, and there's decent blue cards like the Double Refute, Brineborn Cutthroat here, but let's keep it open here and just take the coolest / strongest card in each pack for now. Try to play around with Tiny Bones. Pick 3. It's pretty awkward. I guess there's like a Light Shell duo out of blue. This did impress me quite a lot in our last blue-black deck, because it's really good at fueling Threshold, and it's just kind of a beefy creature for the format. So I think this card is pretty good, probably for any blue deck, but especially blue-black. We're definitely not married to blue-black yet, but I think this is the best blue or black card in the pack, and all of the off-color cards, there's really nothing that impressive. There's like a decent haste creature, decent first striker, pretty weak pack overall. Probably the best card is maybe Goldvein Pick here, but I'm not so sure how great that's going to be in a blue deck. I guess you can get a lot of flying creatures and slap this onto one of those. That's decent. So it's the duo or the Goldvein Pick here. I really hate taking a Goldvein pick number 3, but I also am not a huge fan of taking Light Shell duo pick 3. I guess we could also just go Thornwood Falls. Yeah, when the pack's this mediocre, we can speculate on random fixing in case we do any splashing around those colors. Pick 4, there's an Abrade for really efficient removal. Kind of the best card here. Luminous Rebuke's also pretty good, pretty efficient removal. So that's on the radar. And then there's more random fixing. Pretty filler Think Twice. I'll go for the Abrade, though. One of the good removal spells. Pick 5, Tolarian Terror is quite nice. Costs 1 less for each instant source in your graveyard, and it's a 5/5 word 2, so often the beefiest creature on board. It's a great boss monster, great endgame for any blue deck. And I'm happy to take that. Alright, pick 6, Llanowar Elves. That is pretty late here. We do have the Thornwood Falls to help fix towards that as well. We go for a blue-green deck. Green has shown itself to be kind of the weakest color in the format, in my opinion, but pick 6 Llanowar Elves is still quite the pickup here. That is one of the things that could definitely get me headed in that direction. I feel like these packs are pretty weak today. But maybe I'm just not a fan of this format's commons and uncommons. I don't know. This is a lot of filler here. We're just going to take some more random fixing. Pick 8, Banishing Light. Also Infestation Sage when sacrifice is a main theme in black. Lots of good synergies for that. Do I really want to be like 5 colors right now, taking this Banishing Light and just being completely open? Or do I want to get a little more locked towards black? I think Tiny Bones is a pretty solid black card. This is a pretty late Sage. But whatever, I'm bouncing around. We'll just draft whatever rare we open up in pack 2 and commit from there. It's actually just sort by color because it's funny. Pick 9. Well, pick 9 Healer's Hawk is also quite late. We have no instants or sorceries in blue yet, so I don't want to load up on Tolarian Terrors before I know if I can actually get cost reduction on them. So with the 3 best cards being Bloodfell Caves, Tolarian Terror and Healer's Hawk. That does just lean me towards the Healer's Hawk, with the concern about having a bunch of terrors and nothing engraved for them. Pick 10, some random tricks, big random doofus. Take the random trick, I guess it at least fuels the Tolarian Terror. Pick 11. White creatures are pretty filler, but we are starting to move towards white. And in the right position, I do find Inspiring Paladin to be pretty impressive. Just a 3/3 first striker. If you're on the aggressive, having first strike on attacks is pretty nasty. Alright, make your move is kind of main deckable with the amount of stuff going on. So Kaito Cunning Infiltrator is our rare. I'm not the biggest fan of most Kaitos, but this one seems pretty decent. You can just immediately get a creature out of him, worst case scenario. Draw a card, discard a card every turn. Yeah, I mean, this is definitely the pick.
There's nothing I can't steal.
Not the most exciting or powerful Planeswalker in the set, but it's still a Planeswalker, which is still very powerful. Pack 2, pick 2. Heir Apparent is nice if you can get a bunch of copies. I don't know about taking it this highly, though. Could take a good blue card like Light Shell Duo, Brineborn Cutthroat. Could also... I've only got one Abrade towards red. I feel like Kaito plus Curator towards blue, that's kind of a huge reason to be blue. With the double rare here. Yeah, that's going to kind of keep me off the red speculation here. We'll just lock in on blue-white, I think. Grab a Cutthroat or a Duo. Maybe splash a little bit if we get a bunch of these dual lands and Evolving Wilds style cards. So I only have 2 instants right now for Brineborn Cutthroat. But there is a pretty good common counterspell in blue for it. Take the Cutthroat here. Maybe the Light Shell Duo is just better. It has played a lot better in this format than it did in Bloomburrow, but I think that's because just in Bloomburrow, as far as I remember, blue was just like very bad. Okay, pick 3, really efficient removal with Joust Through. It's not the most flexible. It's only 3 damage and it's only 2 attacking or blocking creatures, but for only 1 mana, that's perfectly fine. There's also Prideful Parent to clutter up the board. That's pretty decent. If we gambled on Heir Apparent, we get a second copy here. That'd be cute. Definitely like Joust Through better than Witness Protection. I'm just going to go for efficient removal here. Grab a Joust Through. Pick 4. Ah, there's Heroic Reinforcements. If we speculated red over this blue, but again, I think Curator and Kaito are kind of holding us down here. I mean, maybe not. Here we are taking it over a Prideful Parent. I mean, this was pack 1, pick 1. This was pack 2, pick 1. This was a pick 2. This was like a pick 3 or something. We kind of didn't grab any good blue later in the packs. So that kind of makes it look like it wasn't that open, despite getting the great rares. Maybe Boros is just more open. We'll see. Yeah, these blue cards are not good, but neither is this pack as a whole. I like Overrun if you're a creature-heavy green deck. I don't really like anything else here. We'll take the Paladin. Helpful Hunter, Slam Dunk, join the party. 2 mana, 1/1, draw a card, just a great little value play. There's also pretty good black removal, but we're doing decent on removal here. Joust Through, Braid, Banishing Light, make your move. Okay, pick 7. Well, I'll just have all the Inspiring Paladins. Not a particularly inspiring deck, but they are gonna fill out the curve. Pick 8. I don't have any other angels for the Youthful Valkyrie yet, but a 2 mana 1/3 flyer is already decent. Wow, pick 8 stab. Locked in on Tiny Bones, dang. I mean, I'm 2 cards deep into red. Tiny Bones and a stab, and I'm 2 cards deep into black. What world am I living in right now? Another Healer's Hawk for sure. Pick 10 Diregraph Zombie. or Diagraph Ghoul. There's also pick 10 Light Shell Duo. I don't think that card is bad. And again, I'm 2 deep into black and 4 deep into blue. Kind of just dance around and end up right where I started. We just did a full 360 back into blue-white. Again, there was not much I missed by taking these off-color cards. I missed one Prideful Parent. That was the only good card I think I missed. And it was just like a good common. It wasn't like a great uncommon or anything that I was passing up on. Yeah, this definitely looks decent. Brineborn Cutthroat looks pretty awkward with 3 instants. That fills out the curve with something. Boros Crag or Evolving Wilds for any deck. Evolving Wilds is worse in the right deck, but fits into any color pair that we end up in. Okay, pack 3, pick 1, and we open up a green rare. Sadly, this was like the one time, not the one time, I think this has happened a few drafts now, where I like take a pretty late land rolls and then just don't see anything else, any other reason to really be in green. So we didn't really end up in green for this loot. But Guarded Air is a nice consolation prize. It's a lot of mana, but a lot of stats. 7 power and toughness spread amongst 3 creatures. Pretty big. Pack 3, pick 2. Sad pack. There's one good green card, one good red card. Nothing on color, really. Just gonna play the Soulstone Sanctuary thing, but then we're hitting the correct colors less often because we have a colorless land in our deck. Suppose we just grab like this Uncharted Voyage, because it looks like the creature count's doing pretty decent. Just another instant for Cutthroat could be okay. Could also take the blue-white land there, if you really don't like Uncharted Voyage, but I think it looks decent. Pick 3, I like Felidar Savior a lot. We do need to curve out with it. We want to have 2 creatures on board before we cast it, but if we do, this card is going to be huge stats on the board. Pick 4. Not turning into a great Tolarian Terror deck, but Felidar Savior plays really well with Prideful Parent. Dauntless Veteran, really oppressive on attacks, buffing your whole board. The Parent is definitely more flexible though, it's infinitely better on blocks, whereas the Veteran is only really doing action on attacks. I'll go for the Parent. I really like how the Parent can single-handedly curve into a Felidar Savior as well. That part is really nice. If this is the only creature we've played before the Felidar Savior, we're still getting the 2 +1/+1 counters onto the board with it. Here's Luminous Rebuke for super efficient removal. Youthful Valkyrie looks fine too, because we're really low on cheap creatures. Hopefully we make up for that with cheap removal. I only have one other angel in this deck. Yeah, I still think I'm okay to pass the Valkyrie. Pick 6. Alright, maybe Savannah Lions for more cheap creatures. Pick 6 Burst Lightning. There's an Evolving Wilds here. Let's get a Savannah Lions. Just an idiot to throw counters onto. Dazzling Angel, Icewind Elemental, Ink Mage are all pretty filler for this deck. Like Icewind's probably the best, fits in the curve well. Good enter effect to dig through the deck. Well, if we wheel all the Youthful Valkyries, then I guess the 3-mana Angel would have played better. Because again, a 2-mana 1/3 flyer is already mildly playable for us just for curve purposes. So we'll take every Valkyrie that we wheel. So, yeah, maybe had we taken that Angel here, we make the 1 Valkyrie we wheel better, or the 2 if we're super lucky. Oh wow, we wheeled a Helpful Hunter? Looks good. Excellent value play. Plays really well with Runaway together. We wheeled the Tranquil Cove. So everybody who wanted that over Voyage, too bad. We got both of them by drafting it this way. Pick 11. Got some good red cards. With an Evolving Wilds and a Windscarred Crag, we might be able to throw a Reinforcements and an Abrade in off the splash, if that looks like something we need to do to up our power. I don't think it is, but it's definitely an option. Because we've got Backwater and Windscarred Crag, we could really splash in Tiny Bones and a Stab, or Reinforcements and an Abrade, if we really want to. But again, we have those two great on-color blue rares. We've got plenty of on-color removal. Feel like we're just sticking to our two-color build here. So checking out the deck here, I think we mainly just want to plop out some of the big stuff here. Mainly just the most mediocre creatures, because we're at like 20. Oh yeah. We can cut 5 creatures here and still be at 15, which is plenty. So like the big Armasaur, Dino Idiots. I guess Terror is our most cuttable other giant creature. Because we're only on 6 instants and sorceries in the whole deck. And we're not doing a lot of surveilling and drawing and discarding. We're doing a tiny bit. I feel like that does not quite make Tolarian Terror great. The Seraph is literally just a 4 mana 3/3 flyer, which doesn't really cut it nowadays. I feel like Elemental feels better than that. We cut one of the 2 big flyers. Not a huge fan of these Inspiring Paladins, and 3 is kind of a lot. And then like Savannah Lions here, 1 mana 2/1. Can get walled off pretty easily by a Helpful Hunter, or a Cat token, or an Elf Warrior token. A lot of issues with a 1 mana 2/1 with no other abilities. So 5 of these are going to get cut. What do we want to put back in? Well, definitely at least a couple Paladins. If I put all 3 Paladins back in, then that's the deck. We've done it. We just cut these 5. Suppose that's the simplest way to do it. Get on out of here. This is going to be a pretty solid blue-white deck here. A couple great rares that we're trying to bank off of, but we've also got a good amount of interaction and a decent curve. So solid looking deck here. We'll see how it plays out for us as we head into the gameplay. All right, here we are for game 1. Would I rather turn 1 Healer's Hawk or turn 2 one of these cards? I think I would rather turn 2 a Helpful Hunter. This way, if I don't hit the land drop here, we start drawing cards immediately towards making sure we don't miss any lands. Feels like a pretty big deal. Alright, well, we immediately hit the land, which makes this a little more awkward. So I'll actually start with the Valkyrie then. Because I have the planes to go double white here, I can play Helpful Hunter and Healer's Hawk next turn. It looks like Valkyrie is much better on this board because we're against some 1/1s. Valkyrie just holds those off forever. There's their own Helpful Hunter. Joust through, you say? I'm not gonna hold it up against exclusively 1/1s right now. There's that Felidar Savior card. Is very good. I'd love to draw our copy. I'll trade a 1/1 for a 2/2. Pretty good deal. Might be better to kill a token in case of Graveyard Recursion. I don't remember a lot in green-white, but I guess green does have, like, a way to put a permanent from their grave back into their hand.
I'm the perfect choice for this job.
Here is a Kaito. I guess I need to not attack with the Healer's Hawks that I am threatening to block all 3 other creatures if they go for Kaito here. I have the Joust through, so like technically on board I could attack with 1, but then they would just need like 1 removal spell to come through and kill Kaito. And this way they need 2. Okay. Free kill, trade, kill with Joust, but make sure that even if they have the combat trick, Kaito survives. Oh, if they use the combat trick elsewhere, they're going to be really unhappy. Nom nom nom. There's a Llanowar Elves. Kind of a gamble to go for Helpful Hunter here, because we're gambling on hitting something that costs 3 or less when we could just play a more impactful spell. It's one creature can't be blocked this turn, draw a card, discard a card. I draw a card, discard a card no matter what with this, which is nice. Okay, just a land.
Surprise 'em.
Imagine I duo and pass here. Wow. Well, we're digging through this clump, which is valuable. I think I'm still going to play the land here, so that I've got a shot at casting a Helpful Hunter and a 4-drop next turn, having 6 mana on board. Guarded Air. Well, there's a lot of creatures. Like 3/3s as well. This Light Shell duo is going to be incredibly important. Okay, well this land does not let me do the thing with the Helpful Hunter. Play the Hunter first for the draw, or I can just discard this land, hope for the best.
Follow me.
I mean, it's more mana, but that lets me double spell at least. Nice. Okay, that is the kind of thing I'm looking for. Counteract their Guarded Air. Name of the game here is just sitting behind this Kaito, setting up our draws all game long. Treetop Snare Spinner. That's a problem. That is a mana sink. So they'll always have something to do with their mana. Like making their 3/3s 4/4s. Yep. Guess who's going on a voyage? Your 3/3 token, and then I'm prowess killing your 4/4. Aw, they're not gonna let me. I've got enough stats off of Guarded Air to just pass here instead of voyaging. Yeah, I don't think I need the mana efficiency.
I've got friends everywhere.
Now, whenever I Uncharted Voyage, I can get a counter on a Brineborn Cutthroat. That's enjoyable. Dwynen's Elite. 2/2 and a 1/1. Make one of their things a 4/4. Pass. Does anybody have Vigilance? Man, just having like one Vigilant creature to go with this Kaito would be huge. 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. I'm about to play another creature. Yeah. Start jamming for 3 a turn.
Let's surprise him.
Okay, that's a good draw. Oh,
And forward.
I completely forgot Kaito can just get juiced up by hitting. Wow, that would have been important to know earlier. I'm dumb. I'm holding off on the Banishing Light here. It's going to let them get another counter, another 2 counters from Snare Spinner. But that way I get the Cutthroat Voyage this turn. Even if they Snakeskin Veil, this attack goes really poorly for them. Thanks to the prowess. Bite down. Okay. This is still fine. If they have Snakeskin Veil and Bite down, then we're not having a good time. Looks like just the Bite down. So we trade a 3/3 into a 4/4 by blocking like this. I guess we could trade Cutthroat off. I don't have enough instants in the deck for that to matter, so if they kill Cutthroat instead of the 3/3, that's probably fine. And then I think we have to just chump the other one. I mean, I could do this, and I lose 2 of these. So I lose 2 creatures there, 1 creature there. I'll still have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 blockers. I'll have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 creatures. Yeah, that's actually fine. Sure. We're still chill, because Kaito's making a ninja.
It pays to have connections.
They can get the kill on Kaito here, but this turn I can just assemble decent blocks. And then try to come ahead in the top deck, war off the Icewind Elemental. So, what are our best blocks here? We kill a 2/2. We can kill a 1/1 for free, or we can go for some trades. For some trades. Then I can double block, kill a 4/4. They're left with a single Land Werewolves and a card in hand. Whereas we have an Icewind Elemental, whatever we draw into. You know, I'm going to leave Kaito. It's a pretty good card. Does this untap? Does not untap. Oh, there's the Runaway Together. I was considering keeping Guarded Hair specifically in case we drew into a Runaway Together. But yeah, it's kind of bad now on this board. I mean, I guess it would still be fine, because, like, eventually I can Runaway Together one of my actual creatures in their Night token. Alright, thanks to Kaito, we are now way ahead on board.
Stick to the shadows. We got this, Pom Pom John.
I guess I actually could have just attacked both here. Whenever a creature you control deals combat damage to a player, put a loyalty on Kaito. So we would have put 2 loyalties sending in both, and then they couldn't even call any Kaito away anyway. Yeah, I mean, at this point, I think I'm just going to start jamming. Because this should be 2 counters on Kaito, put him back up to 5. They'd have to hit with... I guess because they have Dullness Veteran buffing the colony, they still only have to hit with one of the 2 creatures, but I can block a 5/5 with 2 3/3s. And there's the concession from our opponent. Kaito runs away with the game for us. Probably could have done even better if I knew the static ability initially, but still played super well. We are 1-0 heading into game number 2 after quite a long fought battle. Alright, game number 2. Curve's really bad. We don't start till turn 3, but we're on the play, so that shouldn't hurt that much. And obviously the Kaito could play very well. If our opponent has a 1-2-3 curve, this Kaito is going to be useless. Not literally useless. We'll get a 2-1 and fog a little bit of damage, but Kaito will die really fast. If they go 1-drop creature, 2-drop creature, 3-drop creature like I imagine Boros usually does. Okay, they didn't have a 2-drop creature. This Frenzied Goblin is still a bad enough board for Kaito that we can't really lead with them. Have to wait. Ideally till turn 5, we could Kaito and hold up a Runaway together. That could be really good, but we'll have to draw something else to play next turn. If that's going to be the case. Ooh, Firebrand makes it so I cannot just minus Kaito, or they just Firebrand him away immediately. Firebrand is actually immensely awkward for Kaito, because now I just do nothing this turn. I mean, I could plus Kaito. Kaito's at 4 loyalty. I draw a card, discard a card. But then they just Frenzied Goblins that I can't block and hit Kaito for 4. If I plus Kaito, draw a card, discard a card, I put Kaito to 5 with a Runaway together in hand. I can't cast the Runaway together, though, because I'll be tapped out of it. No, I feel like this board is just too awkward for Kaito until, like, 5 mana. If I had the Runaway together up, then maybe it is plus attack, plus again. And have the bounce at the ready. But yeah, Firebrand completely stopping minus from being an option. I guess we did have a slightly fancy play we could have tried for there, which would have been play Kaito, attack with the 3/3 first strike. They don't have any good blocks, so we probably hit to put Kaito to 4 and then minus Kaito. But that's kind of the same scenario as if I just minus Kaito immediately. I would minus Kaito and they'd Firebrand Kaito. That way I would minus Kaito and then they'd Firebrand the 2-1 and just kill Kaito anyway. Or Frenzied Goblin the 2-1 and kill Kaito anyway. Like, it doesn't... It's a cute play, but it still just ends in Kaito dying immediately. Fishing pole. About to start making a fish every turn? Tap fishing pole, put a bait counter on it. When it untaps, make a 1/1 fish. Yeah. It's kind of awkward. They do have to spend the mana to make fish, though, so they can't do it yet. Okay. Math time. 5 loyalty Kaito with Runaway together up against 4 damage on their board. Or just play the big flyer. Just play the big flyer. Just outrace them traditionally for now. With beefier threats. And this draws and discards and could find more cheap interaction like our Joust thing, our Luminous Rebuke, which is stuff that could play well. Cast a Paladin and Kaito in the same turn if I keep this land. But it still feels like the most likely thing to cast in the same turn as Kaito is Runaway together. I mean, with 3 mana being our cheapest creature, Runaway is not the greatest still. Ouch. Busted Uncommons busted. Time to take 1,000,000. At least they spent like 3 mana on a fishing pole for literally nothing. But I think we're dead. Heroic Reinforcements will do that to you. Just hold up Runaway together. Yeah, if their hand just had like a burst lightning or something instead of a fishing pole in it, I think we'd just be dead. Now, yeah, because Archer plus burst lightning would be the lethal. But obviously you can't really draft infinite copies of burst lightning. Whenever equipped creature becomes untapped, if I bounce the Archer, they don't get the fish. Got my mana up for all this next turn. But I have to recast a Paladin, so I don't actually have all my mana up. Okay, Prideful Parent. Prideful Parent is actually a really good creature to bounce. It's also a really good creature to give unblockable with Kaito. Just gonna stop the fish. This is so dumb. Even with the bounce on Archer, if I attacked with one creature there, they have 2 damage to me on board. Because they attack with 4 creatures, I can only block 2. Yeah, if I attacked with one creature, I have 3 blockers up. They shut off 1 for attacking, and I go to 1. I'm dead to a single Archer ping. We do not have attacks here. Can make your move as D's. Fits in with Prideful Parent on curve as well. Obviously, it only blows up the fishing pole here, but they've put me in a spot where the fishing pole is actually a threat. At 3 life, an additional 1/1 to hit me for an additional 1 more damage is real bad. Oh my god. Well, I'm dead to literally any non-creature spell. I'm actually also dead on board. Well, no, if they attack with the firebrands, they can put me to like 1, and then next turn, once the firebrands untap, kill me. But if they attack with all the firebrands here, I kill the firebrands, and then they won't untap next turn. Yeah, I don't think they can actually kill me right now. But they're insanely close. They're one just top deck spell from killing me. Joke's on you, I saw like 0 refutes. Sure. 1-1 heading into game 3. Alright, solid hand here for game 3. We're just gonna get a bunch of card advantage off some helpful hunters. Get to our 6 mana guarded air in the late game now. Great draw. This is a really good draw as well. We already have tons of mana, so we don't need to play helpful hunters right now. We have the decent plays. They have one of my favorite uncommons ever printed, though. These are just incredible, incredible abilities to stack onto each other. Oh, great. Johnny Pridemate's bigger, scarier cousin is here too. Force the redraw here. I don't know what on earth this 4 mana's up for. They want to murder an Inspiring Paladin, they super got it. Yeah, that is very fine. It's a keep with the runaway together. I guess I'm actually on Hunter Cutthroat, because I would rather run away together a guarded heir than a helpful hunter. Sadly, Vampire Nighthawk in classic fashion is going to be unraceable, but we really needed to deal with this Fiendish Panda. Gourmand is way less scary than the Panda, so that's cool. Maybe this is just the perks of playing blue, and our opponents just keep playing around refutes that we don't have. It'll be a wild trade. That's an insanely good trade for me. I mean, it depends on their deck, but every deck I've ever had with Gourmand has had a lot of the 1/1s that die into more 1/1s, or the 1/1 Burglar Rats for 2, just really good sack options for it to be an insane card draw engine. Look, they got the Panda out while we were tapped out. They played around the refute. They got us. Just like our last opponent lethaled us because we tapped out a refute. I mean, they're the right plays without knowing what's in your opponent's hand, but it is very funny from our end of the table. That is a truly depressing Revenge of the Rats. I was hoping to see another like Fiendish Panda or something I really need to deal with, but Vampire Nighthawk it is. You can spend all the removal you want here. Go for it. Ooh. That is less good for me, being able to blow up the Banishing Light here pre-blocks. Or Chump blow up Banishing Light is also decent for our opponent. Well, they can't do that and also survive. They have to eat the food to survive here. It's 10 damage right now. They got a 1-mana way to survive? I don't think Stab does it. It's still 9 damage. Or 8 damage, sorry, because it's 10 minus 2. Yeah. Alright. Scary game, but luckily our opponent got a bit stuck on mana there. If they had just a little more than that 4, enough to like do the commando and eat the food, stuff like that, could have been pretty bad for us. That seems pretty great outside of the Revenge of the Rats, but I guess that works well with the Vampire Gourmand. But their Fiendish Panda, Vampire Nighthawk, Bake into a Pie, general life gain, good stuff, plays super well. Luckily, we draw a little better, and we are 2-1, heading into game number 4. Game 4, on the draw, we're going to have to use this Joust through to hopefully make up for the loss of momentum with no 2-drop here. Our 2-drop is stopping their 2-drop. Don't be a cat, don't be a cat. Okay. Bird is good enough. I'll just stop a bird so that I'm impacting the board early in the game. Or I'm ripping a refute from their hand. Fleeting Flight would not work, because that's combat damage that gets prevented. Cool. No Essence Scatter, no Refute, none of that in their hand. There wasn't a single moment of hesitation for that Inspiring Paladin to resolve. Oh, nice. Yeah, Sunblessed Healer, excellent white uncommon. Just reanimates the Lookout, and we spent a Joust through for absolutely nothing. Dang. If this were another Plains, I'd be very happy. Because then I could Paladin and Fleeting Flight. Okay, I was about to say, in what world are they considering blocking here? Because we would just eat their blockers no matter how they choose to block with First Strike. Vanishing Light of Paladin? Yeah, you got it. Land 5. No! Man, that second white source running away from us. Another turn where we could play a creature and have the trick up. No, they top decked? Oh no, they have Strix Lookout's ability. I was like, wait, they do have something in response to a spell on the stack? They have a Strix Lookout. That's no longer summoning 6, so it's always going to bluff a counter at worst. Even if this trades into a combat trick, that's a really good deal for me. Okay, not if it's Fleeting Distraction. That's rough. I mean, it's not a bad deal. It's just a token that we're losing, but could have been a really good deal, killing the thing. Where are my lands? At least I'm not under much pressure, just a 3-1 and a 1-2. But again, it's not even particularly the lack of a 5th land that's kind of upsetting. It's really just the second white. Like 2 plains, 2 island, and we'd have no complaints right now. Oof. Spectral Sailor literally designed to win positions like this. Both low on cards, nobody's really hitting each other too hard, so might as well sink a million mana to drawing a million cards, and might as well do that for really cheap with Curator of Destinies. About to show off how good this card is and why we pack one, picked one, and are running it in our deck. Because we're about to get destroyed by it. They're going to 3-for-1 us at worst, because at worst I give them the 2-card pile, so they've drawn 2. And I spend a Banishing Light to kill that thing and not die to it. Those 2 cards must be really good. If they're taking those over Refute, Delirium Terror, and a land. But I don't got much of a choice. There's no way we win giving them those 3. So if we lose either way, we lose either way. Alright, cool. I've got my double white now. A little late though, things just started getting really explosive for our opponent. They must have had a Refute face down as well. Because otherwise, I mean, like, a Bouncer and a land is what we've seen from them. There's got to be, like, a removal spell or a counter spell as the card outside of the Bouncer. I doubt it was land Bouncer as the face down pile. Because then that's a significantly weaker pile than the other one. So let's see, do they got the Refute for the Savior? No. Spectral Sailor's still running away with this game. Keeping them miles ahead in terms of card draw. So they're going to be able to cast twice as many spells as us because they're drawing twice as many cards. But it's kind of looking like their 2-card pile was just worse than the face-up really good pile. Now I hope they have the refute, because that's funny. Alright, our attacks are all fine, especially when we're going to drop our own curator here. Okay, never mind. That significantly changes how good attacks are. Because now they can just block Healer's Hawk with a 1/1 fairy token and a Strix Lookout, and I just trade into a Strix Lookout. Top pile will be face down. Oh, Runaway Together Curator is insane. Oh my god, no, we take the Runaway Together pile. I feel like they give us the Runaway Together like this. They almost definitely if I do this. The land does matter, though, if we take the Runaway Together, because we're going to want 8 mana to be able to do it and recast Curator in the same turn, so I think I do this, and they probably will give me the Runaway Together. But if not, it's not a bad case scenario. So we still get good cards. Opponent lives in fear, which is fair enough. That is the correct thing to do here. Hello there. I need to try to Icewind Elemental first here. Do I have removal left in my deck for that? I have a Make Your Move. Thing literally just eats my 5/5 flyer for free. Okay, I have Make Your Move and Luminous Rebuke. Uncharted Voyage for temporary. I honestly wish I didn't have removal that could kill that in my deck so I could just concede right now, because it's going to make this so long to lose, but we probably lose. They had that and refute and enough lands? No. We get the Icewind Elemental down. My +1/+1 counter, no! Poor Healer's Hawk. Alright, show me the refute. I don't really have anything else to play around it. You got it. me to 1. Well, it's not like Healer's Hawk can get in here anyway. So let's take significantly less. That's game. The only way I win is get 2 more attacks in with Elemental, but to declare an attack in with Elemental here means that I die on the crackback. So now I have to just use Void defensively on the Herald. Suppose I can try to get 3 damage in on the ground. This probably ends up with Cutthroat into Cutthroat. Yeah. Okay. Goodbye, Helpful Hunter. The hidden mythic of the game was really the Spectral Sailor. Thing drew them at least like 7 cards. And it's very funny, but it doesn't really change this game. They could, in theory, start getting 1,000,000 heralds. But they'll redraw it after their upkeep. Just the herald here. Yeah, I mean, I have to. I guess they can actually Spectral Sailor it back to their hand. Cast it in the upkeep, but still casting the upkeeps before that triggers. Or it's after that triggers to cast it in their upkeep. There's a long draft today. Oh wow, they can hit Banishing Light? That's pretty good. Alright, it doesn't matter. We're definitely dead to Replication plus the Herald. I can do a lot of different options with that, but none of them win the game, so I'm just gonna move on here. That game already lasted like 10 minutes longer than it needed to. I could have just conceded when the Angel hit the board, but it's like, I mean, technically there's a sequence of draws that wins this. Certainly not the one that we hit, though. 2-2 heading into game 5. Here's Healer's Hawk. Axe Guard Cavalry starts things off from our opponent. Here's Inspiring Paladin chip in for 1. Does his hand race? I mean, Rebuke next turn, kinda. Rebuke or Voyage. Plus the lifelink from Healer's Hawk. Give it haste. Thank you. Oh, I do want that land. I'm done. Oh, that's sad. That is the discard, though. 3/4 and a 5/4 attacking in. Make a double block somewhere. Three, 4, and a 5/4. I guess if I just hold the elemental up, I double block. I only lose the elemental. Or I only lose the healer's hawk. Doesn't itself get buffed. Yeah. So that keeps that swing off of us. Missed ye old land. So we rebuke. And hope they can't haste out a 6-power creature next turn. Am I cool to die to a 6-power creature? You know what, sure. It'd be a fun way to end it. Actually has to be 7-power. Since we get 1 life from Healer's Hawk. Ranger will get a +1. Okay, that is not 6-power, but it's pretty close. Because it buffs the Beastkin Ranger. Well, they had double Dwayne and still kept the other one on top. Or they just drew the second right underneath the first, which is hilarious. Oh, land 6, where are you at? Please. This game is really close. Joust gains like a little bit of life, right? Okay, 1 life. 1 life is not insane, but it's enough if they don't have Snakeskin Veil. Nice. Okay. Okay, that's not good. Not dead, because the giant does not have trample, so they can't really send that in. The giant has reach. If I draw anything that deals with the giant, I win. This has trample, so I can't do much blocking. I guess if they have burst lightning, they kill me. Oh, man. Alright, Helpful Hunter. There are some cards we could draw that would lethal. Banishing Light, Make Your Move, Run Away Together. These all kill our opponent. Oh, the exactly late land. Oh no. Cavalry plus a trampler really makes me feel like I have to just not attack at all right now. I mean, if I send in all the flyers, they have to block the Icewind Elemental and go to 1 life. We kill the Elfsworn Giant if I send in all the flyers, but I'm so likely to die to Ranger without the 4 toughness there. And if I send in just the Elemental, they have to trade. Maybe I could do that, and then I still have like the 3 toughness Valkyrie being a good booty. I can do this, and they have to chump with the token. Do this, and they have to trade with the Giant. They just have a Ranger and a Cavalry. We have 5 toughness up. Against a Ranger and 1 random haster. Maybe I'm even supposed to send in the Healer's Hawk there. But I really don't think I can send in Valkyrie. Because even with Healer's Hawk sending it, I'd be at 3 right now. Just a combat trick for the kill. Actually, even without the combat trick, I fall behind too much here, I think. Okay. You got me. Might have been able to sneak in I mean, I know I could hit them for 2 more last turn if I sent everybody in, so if there was an earlier turn, we could have snuck in 1 more damage. It's where we might have been able to outrace, but then sneaking in 1 more damage on an earlier turn, because that was such an aggressive race, that would have mean they would have snuck in even more than 1 damage on the crackback, and we might have died just sooner. I don't know. Super aggressive race there, but it really doesn't work out for us. The Curator being a massive underperformer, just being stuck in the hand the whole time. If I kept Savior in hand over Curator, I think we actually would have won. But at the time, I had 5 lands. I was on a draw discard with an incredible 6-drop in hand. I was like, all right, discard the Savior because I'm 1 land away from just really winning off Curator. But that 1 land away was like 4 turns away. So that's game 2 and 3. It is kind of an uninspiring draft today. Not the most fun deck, not the most fun gameplay. Some really bland stuff, in my opinion. I don't know. I felt pretty tired the whole draft and bored. But maybe that's because we're like a week in now, and it is definitely starting to feel like a core set a little bit to me. Things are pretty basic, pretty simple here. Just hope for the good cards. Hope your opponent doesn't hit the right stuff. I don't think any of those games were massively interesting to me. The last one was the closest, I think, to being kind of interesting, because the speed of the game was just so fast that just like a slightly different line for 1 more point or 1 less point here or there could have mattered a lot. So I'm not sure we did things right there, but most of the other games it was kind of just like, all right, do they have it? Do we have it? Simple stuff. Yes, not much to say here. I don't have great stuff to say today. I'm a little bored of the format right now, but hopefully we can draft some cooler stuff in future drafts, maybe some more interesting gameplay there. But for now, that is going to end today's video. As always, I'd like to thank my patrons and YouTube members for their support, as well as you for watching the video. If you enjoyed it and you're interested in seeing some more, you can always like, comment, and subscribe to tell the YouTube algorithm to send you some more in the recommended feed. If you'd like to catch me live, you can check out the Twitch channel in the link in the description below. And if you'd like to support the channel directly, you can check out the Patreon link in the description below. But other than that, as always, thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you again soon for some more Magic Arena.